Hey, it's Whisker Stars, and this is my Garuda Extreme Mode Tank Guide. So as you can tell in this battle, right off the bat, I am the OT, or the off tank. TS2 is the main tank. So he's going to take Garuda to the north, kind of between these two pillars. You can go a little bit north of the pillars, but right between them is fine. After a little bit of DPS, she's gonna fly off like that, and sometimes when you lag it's a little weird, but eventually she'll fly off, and then you're gonna want to go to the sides. You're gonna hide here till she does that move right there and then run back out. Now everyone but the MT is gonna go after all of these razor plumes. There's also gonna be one satin plume out there, which all DPS are gonna want to focus on that first. Since I'm the off tank, I'm just kind of going around. I wanted to kill the razor plumes that are around the tank first, because sometimes DPS don't see those. And someone had marked the satin plume with the 1, so the DPS knew to go after that right away. So after all the plumes are dead, you'll go back to Garuda, DPS her down. If your DPS is fast enough, you won't have to worry about her flying across the arena too much. Kind of just like the hard mode battle. So I think she doesn't do any more flybys, if that's what you want to call it. So here come ads. So I was taking Suparna, my combo didn't go off. I guess I got too far away from her, so it kind of took me an extra second to grab her. But you're just gonna, as the off tank, you're just gonna grab her and go south. You're gonna want to figure out with your main tank beforehand who's grabbing which ad. A lot of people do it differently. I was grabbing Suparna because she does that move right there, Wicked Wheel, that usually does about 2.5 to 3 to 4k damage. So right here I lose threat to this Bard, which is standard nowadays, so I'm just gonna get over it, try and kill this guy. I waste my provoke on Suparna. So again, the reason why I was tanking Suparna was because of the Wicked Wheel. Our tank was getting blasted with 2 Wicked Wheels, and it's kind of a lot to get hit with. So we just wanted to switch it up and see how that helped. So I'd already used my provoke. Usually I would go up here and take Garuda off of the main tank so that he's just kind of mitigating damage better. But I wasn't able to take Garuda, but we were able to kill her pretty quickly. So now again, you're just going to focus DPS on Garuda. You're going to want to watch out for her Wicked Wheels. If you're melee DPS, that it's brutal. Her attack pattern is always going to be Friction, Downburst, and Wicked Wheel. So that's really the best way to watch out for that attack, is just to remember Friction, Downburst, Wicked Wheel. So here we're going to have phase 3, and these are the plumes. There's going to be a bunch of razor plumes and 1 spiny plume. You're going to want to kill all the razor plumes as fast as you can. If you don't kill those quick enough, they will explode and do too much damage to your party. You're going to watch the spiny plume as the tanks, because if it gets to 3 stacks, I believe it explodes, and it will kill you and maybe the whole party. So you want to make sure you tank swap the plume. When it hits 2 stacks, it'll hit at 12 seconds. So it just hit there, so I just provoked it off of him. If your warrior, provoke is a paladin ability, so you will have to level paladin to level 26, I think, or maybe 24. So you're going to kill that plume and then move out of the AoE very quickly, and then you're going to move back into it because this defensive property is necessary for that attack right there. So now we're moving on to phase 4. This is the 2 sisters again, Suparna and Garuda. Again, I'm taking Suparna, and I'm going to take her southwest. The main tank is taking Garuda and Garuda northeast. So you're pretty much just waiting for the plumes to show up to make sure your positioning is correct. Right now the Spiny Plume is either on the main tank, or I believe it's on one of the DPS. No, it's on the main tank, TS2. He has a stack. So I also put him on focus target, as you can tell. I did that kind of midway through the battle. That helps me see his stacks, his plume stacks. I definitely recommend putting the other tank on focus target. The main tank actually had Garuda on focus so that he could see her slipstreams when he was tanking both her and the ad, because right here he's tanking both of them, so that's kind of a lot of, you know, DPS that he's receiving. So I provoked the Spiny Plume off of him at 2. You kinda, as the tank, have to move in as close to the edge as you can, as close to the center, so the other tank can provoke it off of you. And then you're just going to wait for Garuda to disappear, and then you're going to drag this Spiny Plume into the center of the arena and kill it, and they try to kill it as close to the center of the arena as possible. And the reason for that is because, again, get out of the AoE and back in, because in this next phase you're going to want to be in the center of the arena, otherwise you'll get blasted by some AoE effects. So phase 3 and 4 just keep repeating. It's just plumes, it's just razor plumes and a Spiny Plume, followed by the 2 sisters and a Spiny Plume. So you, as the 2 tanks, you just always have to be mindful of that Spiny Plume, of Slipstream, of Wicked Wheel. As the off tank, I'm just trying to kill all the razor plumes that are close to Garuda. And just put as much DPS on her as possible, because it's a long fight. Sometimes it can just stretch on and on. Alright, so now that she's dead, we're going to hurry up and kill the Spiny Plume, and then we're just going to move back into the AoE after it goes off, because we need that shield. So again, sisters. I'm going to take Suparna Southwest yet again. And my positioning is probably a little off right here at first. I kind of have to take her a little bit more south. You can use the pillars to the north of the map. That's a good marker. The pillars are just at the very north. But you kind of have to take your ad to one of the 4 corners. Other groups have said that they do it differently, or other people have said that their groups do it differently. We kind of just, we did it this way, so it worked. And also other groups will have the main tank take Suparna and Charada, because it's, I guess they just think that's easier, but we just felt that it was easier for us having the main tank not get blasted by 2 Wicked Wheels in a row. So again, I'm just going to hold the Spiny Plume here, and it's going to hit me with 2 stacks, so I'm going to kind of move toward the center so that the MT can provoke it off of me. And he's able to get it there. Now, I believe our team gets hit with friction, or they get hit with something, because a whole bunch of people just went down. But our one healer, who had 300 health, somehow survived and was able to get off LB3 and res everyone for this next phase. I mean, that was just an unbelievable save right there. Just saved us like 10 minutes. So again, phase 3 all over again, plumes. You want to stay in the center. And just DPS plumes down as fast as you can. That way you can focus on Garuda. And as a tank, again, you're just going to watch to see who the Spiny Plume goes to. Sometimes it'll go to a healer or DPS, and you can just let it stay on them for a stack or 2 and then provoke it off. Just as long as no one gets more than 2 stacks, you'll be okay. Once it hits 2 stacks, you need to provoke it immediately, because if you go to 3 stacks, it's going to be a huge problem. It's most likely going to be a wipe for your party. So you'll hold DPS on it a little bit. I was holding DPS because our main tank was using shield lob for to get hate on the plume, so I was just holding it. So again, DPS, move out of the AoE. There's also some other minor AoE that you have to look out for. Those feathers. Alright, so it's sisters again. As you can see, the fight is pretty simple once you figure it out. So I'm just gonna take her southwest again. And I'm just gonna hold her right here until the plumes show up. And you're just gonna want to watch for slipstream. You'll run through her on slipstream, and then you will pop some defensive cooldowns after that for some of the other moves, like Wicked Wheel. Hit me for about 3k. Alright, so I took the spiny plume again, and I'm just going to hold it right there. And you're just going to want to try and watch for Garuda to go down, because that's when you just want to bring the plume to the closest to the center as you can. So just use a move like Tomahawk, because in our group we had all ranged DPS, so they were able to get their attacks on it right away, kill it immediately. So just always stand in the shield. We had some people that were weakened, so they were taking extra damage. Here I'm kind of standing in front of Garuda. I was trying to get the spiny plume so I could pull it south. It went to the tank. Usually I would leave it on him, but I was trying to pull it south so we could LB1 Garuda. And I don't even think it did any damage to her. I mean, if it did, no one noticed. So again, I'm just going to hold the plume while DPS focuses on Garuda. And then when I get 2 stacks, I'm going to move up toward the tank so that he can provoke it or shield lob it off of me. But here, we kill her before she goes to the next phase. So, no harm, no foul. Well guys, once again, this has been Whisker Stars, and this is my Garuda Extreme Mode Tank Guide. You get some good tombs from that. 25 Philosophy, 19 Mythology. Not too bad. If you liked the video, just leave a comment, give me a like, subscribe. Thanks guys.